honesty, I wasn't actually going to do a video on this because I'm sure you guys know already that Matt Reeves released a teaser for the new Batman suit. It's our first real look at Robert Battinson in the Batsuit, and of course the internet is losing their minds over it, and they're making all kinds of memes and all kinds of images and fan art about it. At first I was kind of like, nah, I probably shouldn't do a video on this because we didn't even really get a full teaser. Like, it's less than a minute of footage. It's kind of dark, it's red. We don't get to see the full suit. Like, we don't get to see the full suit, we don't get to see the ears, we don't get to see any of that. So at first I was like, maybe I should just wait until we see the full suit and then maybe see the full suit in action and then do a video on it. But then the DC slut in me just got in my head and started talking to me.
Babe, come on. You already know. You know you want to talk about it. I mean, what else are you going to do? You know you're going to double dip. You know you're going to talk about DC related shit on this channel. And you might as well talk about this. I mean, why aren't you going to talk about it?
Just sit back and listen to that DC slut and just... yeah, you know what? That woman, she knows me best. She knows me to my core. Here I am with the DC slut in me in tow talking about the new Batman teaser for The Batman, which comes out in 2021, directed by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Battinson as Batman, information you all should know by now. As far as the actual look of the armor and the outfit, I'll get to that in a second. The thing that stood out the most to me just watching this teaser was the score. The score is composed by Michael Giovanni. Michael G is going to be doing the music for this movie. I actually really like him as a musical composer. He's worked with Matt Reeves before on some of his other films, and in this film he's going to be composing the score. Listen to the music for this thing. It's all vengeance, it's angry, it's brooding. It sounds like vintage Batman. It sounds like music that could have been ripped out of the animated series. Then again, it also sounds like the Imperial March, and we've already had a bunch of people talking about that online, so yeah, of course, there is that. I mean, you can't deny that. It actually does sound like it's a little bit of the 1966 Batman theme. It's that theme for Batman, but just slowed down a little bit and a little bit more ominous. Like, if you actually pay attention to them and you listen to them side by side, it kind of links up. That score immediately set the atmosphere. It immediately got you into the whole process. Like, when you hear that score and you hear the way it builds up, I can't play it here because, you know, copyright is a bitch. That was the thing that I recognized the most. That's the thing that got me the most excited. And as far as the actual armor and outfit, I liked it. Now, there's a caveat with that. Just because you like something doesn't mean it's going to turn out the way that you want it to, and just because you don't like something doesn't mean you're going to hate it when the movie comes out. Since we saw less than a full minute of actual footage and we didn't actually get to see the full suit in action, and we got what could just be like test footage, like we saw test footage for the Joker, and yes, it looked great, and then we saw it in the movie and it was great. They could still be adding tweaks and doing little changes to this outfit during production, and Batman himself could be changing and upgrading his suit throughout the movie. Bottom line is, whether it's positive or negative, no matter how you feel, it's probably best to not be too concrete on how you feel about it until we see the full suit or we see the full suit in action, like in a trailer or something. In the meantime, I have to say that this outfit was clearly inspired by Kingdom Come Batman. Yep. Kingdom Come Batman. That's what this suit reminds me of. Come on, guys. You know what I mean when I say Kingdom Come Batman. I mean, just look at them. Look at these pictures. They sync up perfectly. Like, it's meant to be. For anybody here who knows about the Jay-Z album that I just referenced, I mean, kudos to you. You're awesome. Thank you for picking up on my corniness. For anybody else who has no idea what album I'm talking about, or the fact that it's Jay-Z, or the fact that it was called Kingdom Come and it came out in 2006, well, yeah, sorry about that. I took you a little bit off the beaten path. I actually have to shout out John Maffeo. I think he's a guy on Twitter. He's where I actually got the picture from, and then I was just kind of like, that sounds cool. I think I'm going to share that in this video. So I do want to credit him. He's the one that actually came up with the picture. Yeah, definitely inspired by Kingdom Come Batman. I mean, it's clear as day. Getting into the suit and the look and the feel, the texture of it, the armor, the leather, all of that, I gotta say I came away impressed. Jokes aside, when you actually look at the brief glimpses of the suit that we did get to see, it definitely does give you some of that Arkham feel, like the Arkham Knight suit from the video games. For me, it reminded me a little bit of Arkham Origins as well, but definitely when you look at Arkham Knight, that's what it's going to remind most people of. Obviously, a big inspiration for the suit could also be when you look at the emblem and you look at the bat sign in the middle of the chest and see how it's raised. There's been a lot of speculation online that that actually could be Joe Chill's gun, and Joe Chill, like, he broke the gun and then added it to his chest piece, and he's gonna, it looks detachable. It looks like it can be turned into a weapon. That's just a rumor, and we don't know, and there have been people who do handle guns for a living who say, no, that clearly doesn't look like a gun. I don't know what the answer is, guys. All I know is that if this movie does take Joe Chill's gun, the weapon that killed Bruce Wayne's parents, and they decide to incorporate it into his suit, not only would that be awesome, but it would also be something that has happened in the comics before. I can't remember which issue it was. Was it Batman number 27? I don't know, I can't remember which one it was, but the point is, Joe Chill, Batman took his gun and he melted it down and he added it to his chest piece and used it as an extra piece of armor. It's a really cool way of thematically and literally tying together Batman's tragic backstory into something that's aesthetic and practical for his suits going forward. Like, I really like that idea overall. Of course, if Zack Snyder came up with this idea, I'm pretty sure most people would be calling it edgelord or too dark or something like that, but no use crying over spilled milk. Zack Snyder's on to bigger and better things. So we're hearing that this Batman does take place in year 2. So this is a Batman who has been fighting crime for a little while, but he's still very early in his crime fighting career. Which kind of makes me wonder why there are so many other villains and people that pop up in this movie. Like, this is probably going to be the early versions of these characters, and then maybe along the trilogy they'll evolve into the characters that we're supposed to see. But man, it just makes me feel like for his first year as Batman, he had a villain popping up like every 2 months or something like that. Aren't there like 3 or 4 villains in this movie? Good lord. Looking at the suit, it looks like it's tactical, like it has that armor and that edge to it, and that looks awesome, but it also looks like, if you look at the cowl and you look at some of the leather, it looks like it's handmade. It looks like it's very homegrown, and I feel like that's a pretty cool look for Batman in this movie, especially considering that we're getting a young Batman at the beginning of his career who maybe doesn't have use of all the gadgets or all the technology yet, but he's still finding his way, still making mistakes, and still looking to tweak and upgrade his armor. I don't like the design of the cowl. It does expose a little bit too much of the jawline for me. Then again, when you look throughout history, especially at Batman the Animated Series, he did have an exposed jawline in that series, so it looks like they're creating something original from scratch for this suit, but they're also tying it in with the comics, and they're using like little things to homage from the comics, and as a comic book fan myself, that really pleases me. That makes me happy. Red aesthetic reminded me, and definitely should remind other Batman fans of other red-tinged Batman comic book covers and stuff like that. Man, can you imagine how crazy the internet is gonna be when that first trailer hits? I mean, good lord. Talk about people lighting themselves on fire, either from excitement or from terror or from hatred or whatever. Like, it's gonna be a crazy day. I can't wait to see it. By the way, shout out to all the amazing fans, Detrini, Boss Logic, and even smaller people who aren't as well known, but they're making some great fan art. There is so much great fan art for this Batman suit, and so many ways that they've taken it and they've expanded on the design and pushed out a really awesome looking Batman suit for people that may be into different things. Me personally, I want something that is either blue and gray or black and gray. I don't want something that's all black. I feel like I've moved on a little bit from that look. If we're going off of the suit being inspired by the 1939 Batman, which some elements of it definitely do look inspired by that, I don't necessarily know if I want the ears to be like diagonal and have them pointed out. I mean, I know that some people are gonna freak out because it's a weird look. Tradition or not, I just think it looks weird, and I think I like long ears. I want the long ears back. Having said that, I'll probably accept whatever Matt Reeves and his team come up with, and I don't think it's gonna affect the quality of the movie because I trust Matt Reeves and I trust in his vision. Like I said, let me know what you think about the Batman suit in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.